Well, welcome back to another Stock Market Open live stream. Today is NVIDIA earnings day. Everyone cares about NVIDIA today. Yes, mostly because we probably avoided a recession because we had a nice little AI boost. And by nice little AI boost, I mean massive GDP expenditures and in business-related investment, thanks to artificial intelligence. So you gotta give it credit. There was some big old dollar hollers that came on in because of artificial intelligence, really turning, going from this state of being a neural net and big data into something more accessible to sort of everyday folks. I always think about, even at House Hack, we built the sort of wedge finder all the way back before House Hack even existed. Back in 2018 or whatever, it was just sort of vision-based AI, and it's so interesting to see now this transformation of how much more ubiquitous these features have become in terms of people wanting to use AI. Still don't see it much in real estate. So I think interesting edge there that we still have with that surprised people. Don't use AI much in real estate, but it's a people business. But anyway, it's really interesting. So just to sort of think of like, gosh, what would it have been like if we didn't have AI in terms of GDP? Crazy. So then we've got today. We didn't really have any data today. You had mortgage applications, which came in up 0.5% for the week. You've got GDP annualized tomorrow with PCE, along with unemployment claims. And then on Friday, Friday, you get personal income, PCE, U of Mich, a lot of great great data, so to speak. But none of it like massively critical. I think the biggest, most important set of data that we're going to get here is going to come from the jobs data. Jobs data will get, let's see here, that is 9/6. So mark your calendars for that if you haven't yet. That's going to be the Friday after Labor Day. Hopefully y'all got some fun plans for the labor of the day. And so I think that'll be really nice to have a 3-day weekend. Hopefully everybody will have a nice 3-day weekend. Okay, so I did see that I wanted to touch on this. I thought it was interesting. Well, a few things. First, we've got, let me see here. Let's pull this. Oopsies. We had Abercrombie report earnings, and they're down a smidge here. A good smidge. And let me see here. Let me get the earnings cal. So today we get Salesforce and NVIDIA and CrowdStrike. So it's not just NVIDIA that we're going to be looking for. We'll also get Affirm and Okta. And then this morning you had Abercrombie. Yesterday you had Nordstrom, JWN. Okay. Let's see here. JWN. Let's see. Abercrombie's down like 9%. But Nordstrom, they came in with a flat fiscal year revenue expectations. Whoa. The EPS midpoint missed pretty well here. 155 for fiscal year EPS, lower margin, and they were looking for 185. But interestingly, even though they missed on all these numbers and their adjusted EPS for Q2, their forecast for the year, everything, IWN, how are they doing right now? Let's see. Not IWN. This is JWN. There you go. JWN Nordstrom. Oh, okay, yeah. Down 1%. So it'd be interesting to see their earnings call, but I mean, I think their forecast tells you a good enough preview here as to how they feel about the consumer. But it's surprising they're actually only down 1% because that's really not that bad. Then you had Abercrombie, which was a little worse. And interestingly, I think their numbers weren't that bad, but the stock reaction was. Let's see here. So Abercrombie, they increased their fiscal year outlook. Their adjusted EPS beat. Their margin's still good. CapEx in line. Expecting Q3 sales to be up low double digits year over year. And net sales met expectations, but the stock was down like 10% almost. ANF, although it's run like crazy. Yeah, down 9.4%. Wild. Okay, interesting. So, and then of course, yesterday you had that crazy BTC sell down and Ethereum sell down, which I'm very curious to see how Bitcoin reacts today to NVIDIA earnings. We're right at 60K. This is usually where we see some more activity, but we're under that 67 line. That's one we've been talking about a lot. 60,700. Seems to fail to break out of that one pretty frequently. So we'll see how it evolves today with NVIDIA. So okay, let's write down all the earnings that we have today. Earnings today. So we had Abercrombie, we had Nordstrom, those already occurred. And then later today, just so you know what to prepare for, it's not just NVIDIA, but it's Salesforce. Oh, HP is in there as well. Oh, it's a big day. CrowdStrike. We'll go live for it on this channel here. Chewy. Affirm. And Five Below for what that's worth. Wow. Okay, cool. So I'll take a peek at all those. That'll be entertaining. Then Goldman, I saw this piece on CNBC this morning I thought was interesting. Goldman issues warning on how quickly market confidence has recovered from an August slump. The speedy return of market confidence following a dramatic global sell-off in risky assets should be seen as a cause for concern, according to the head of asset research at Goldman Sachs. Speaking on Squawk Box this morning, Squawk Box Europe. Oh, I didn't know they had a Squawk Box Europe. It's interesting. Anyway, Goldman said investors could think about the early August stock slump as something akin to a warning shot. Stock markets kicked off the month under intense pressure over the potential of a recession and carry trades. Since then, expectations of imminent interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve and improving U.S. economic data have sent stocks soaring. S&P's up 8% since Aug 5. Dow's up 6% since Aug 5. Going into this, you had like 1 or 2 months where positioning and sentiment was at the upper end of the range. People were bullish. We were actually worried about a bit of a correction because at the same time, while you had bullish positioning, momentum and macro was a bit weaker. Yep. What's concerning now is how quickly the market has gone back to where we were before. Certainly shows that we're sadly near the same problem we were about a month ago. Let's see here. What happened on Aug 5 was obviously a huge technical overreaction, so that was a buying opportunity. He said the current challenge for market participants is that stocks and risky assets have completely reversed losses to where they were before. What I find quite interesting is risk appetite is not back to where it was before, and what actually happened is safe assets like bond, gold, yen, Swiss franc have not sold off. What I would say is that the good news is while the S&P 500 is back to where we were before, complacency isn't. We're not the same kind of extreme bullishness and sentiment positioning. Yeah. Previously advocated a 60-40 portfolio. I would say, considering that you don't have much buffer currently from bonds, tactically, maybe you want to be a bit careful about your risk position. Let's see. If you think about it, the bond market buffered most of the drawdown. If you looked at the 60-40 portfolio, it was a blip. In other words, the bond market kind of protected you when the stock market sold off on Aug 5. Max drawdown was about 2%. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's actually a good argument, is that if you have a lot of exposure to bonds, if the market does sharply sell off, usually you see interest rates fall. And when rates fall, your bond value should go up. You're flat right now, though, on the 10-year. And if I look at the 2-year, which is also flat, look at the difference between the two, though. You're at 867 and 827 here. So you're at a 5, just under 5, 4.8 basis point difference between these two, which means we're only 4.8 basis points inverted right now. That's crazy. Yeah, it certainly didn't feel like we moved up that much yesterday. But yesterday morning we were at like 11. Now we're at like 4.8. So we're about to break through here. About to break free. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the chart shows 4.18. That's crazy. Somebody says, as of yesterday, the yield curve is no longer inverted. That's not quite true. It's close. The yield curve is still inverted by, as we just calculated, 4.2-ish to 4.8-ish, depending on which moment you're taking a pick. So that'll be really interesting. Okay. All right. So here's Mark Benioff. Let's see what he has to say about AI.
Themselves more profitable, better customer success using our incredible new AI technology. And that's what I'm really excited.
Well, I do know that the excitement is going to extend right into Dreamforce, which is in a couple of weeks.
Yes. Are you going?
I don't miss Dreamforce.
Of course not. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
But I'll miss you.
No, I'll be on the whole time.
Okay.
I just get up at 3. Well, I get up at 3 anyway. What's the difference?
Exactly. It's perfect.
So here's what Mark's been saying. His most recent tweet, August 19th. Salesforce's newest version of Agentforce, codenamed Atlas, as opposed to Einstein, Atlas. And don't shrug about this, resolves 90% of all customer inquiries for our top healthcare, financial services, payments, travel, and entertainment clients, over double the success rate of competing agents. So what he's saying is he's taking share versus unknown competitors.
Okay.
I don't want to sell it ahead.
I want to posit a question to you.
Down,
because this morning I was speaking to an investor in Klarna. It's a private company.
Klarna?
You know it, though.
I've used them. I've hired them for the street.
All right, private company. That really said, with a large investor base, this is where we deal with these days in the secondary market. 500 people are on their conference call.
I know. No, it's really insane.
And they were asked, Jim, about, AI cost savings. The CEO was asked about cost savings, what you can see, what you're seeing in terms of across the board. And this has been noted on, I think, by a couple, and I'm noting it as well. They said there are large ongoing internal initiatives or a combination of AI standardization and simplification. As an example, we just shut down Salesforce. And within a few weeks, we're going to shut down Workday. We're shutting down a lot of our SaaS providers, and we're able to consolidate, and with the help of AI, to standardize and create a much more lightweight tech stack to operate more effectively with higher quality.
Okay, that's the existential nightmare.
That's gotten some people's attention this morning.
That's the existential nightmare, that you don't need Salesforce because you don't need coders. Mark Benioff has been adamant that, yes, you can talk. He likes the democratization of what's happened here. You can speak right to it, native language. However, he comes back and say along with, by the way, ServiceNow. Let's make sure that ServiceNow is, I wonder if they're going to pull out ServiceNow. That'd be interesting. That Mark and ServiceNow are saying, listen, we've figured out how to use it for you to sell more product. So that's interesting that Klarna says, no, now Workday is about human resources and about finance. Workday in the previous quarter said incredible forecast. They gave an amazing forecast. Stock was down 20, and then they gave the forecast on the conference call. Stock reversed and moved up 40.
But I guess obviously these are companies that are potentially huge beneficiaries of AI in terms of their product portfolio and what they can offer. At the same time, other companies, and again, this is a private company, it's one example.
No, but you never.
But you don't usually hear those kinds of things on a call. Obviously, it's not a public company. There are large ongoing internal initiatives, combination of AI standardization, simplification, which means they're getting rid of these providers.
I will ask Mark tonight about that. That's good information. I did not have that information before. I know that Klarna is very good. I also could see why they would want to use Salesforce to get more customers. So it's a natural.
Yeah,
it's not when you want
Klarna
to. Not when you want to lose.
Similar to a firm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a firm on tonight too.
What they do.
Klarna is just people like. Well, you can help build a subscription business with Klarna. Very good product. It gives you lift. Salesforce gives you lift. I brought it in the street.com, brought it in Salesforce twice to give you a very big lift in the subscription business. So you don't want to hear another subscription business not want to use Salesforce. They don't compete with each other. That's a good piece of information. I will try to. I'll get that to Mark.
You want to make some bets right here in terms of the aftermarket performance of both Salesforce and NVIDIA, or is that just that's just too much?
Like
I don't know. I mean, management would love us to just turn it into a betting show, probably, right? So.
Well, then management's
give
not
me your
like
best picks, Jim.
Management's not going to like
What's
it.
the spread?
That would be pretty funny. They should just turn it into a gambling show. Anyway, that is interesting, this idea of Klarna dumping Workday and in Salesforce. So it's basically a way of reducing their costs, because every single worker at Klarna would have a seat at these platforms, and call it $100 a month or whatever it is. It starts adding up. If you could get rid of some of these things, your cost savings could be immense. Klarna, I wonder how many employees they have. Let's see here, 5,000 plus employees. So you do 5,000 employees times, let's say, $100 a month times 12, right, for the year. Talking about $6 million. But then again, I mean, $6 million. I mean, well, Klarna probably loses money, but it just seems like $1 million should be a rounding error. But I don't know. Maybe they're spending even more than $100 per, on sort of all these softwares on average. So hey, maybe it'll help push them to profitability. I'd rather be positive 6 than flat. That's for sure. Anyway, let's listen over here.
Customers.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
But Elon.
Why do you always talk about robots having to do with NVIDIA?
Because that's the next generation. And
so did they make that robot?
That's a phony robot. He told me, Jensen, that's a phony robot. It's not real. It's just for show. It's a Star Wars robot. It's not real, okay? It is. But he said it right up front that it's not real.
Yeah, I don't know about what everybody thinks regarding the robots, but I've been some of the facilities where people engineer robots or conducting R&D on them. I mean, I really think for a practical robot, I don't think we're gonna see it until, honestly, like 2030, like to where we practically have one, where we're like, oh yeah, we're willing to spend, I don't know, the $20K on it. Like, that's a lot of money. It needs to really have an ROI for you to justify doing that. And I don't think we're going to be there for at least 6 years, if not even maybe more. And I say that mostly because I remember back, Tesla's FSD was supposed to be, complete in 2018 or 2019. And I started using full self-driving, the autopilot then, in 2017 with my Black X. And it's amazing to think back that it's been 7 years since I started using autopilot. And, we've gotten better, but we've gone from 85% to 98%. So, much of the easy part happened a long time ago. And now it's been 7 years, and we've moved, maybe that extra little 13% there. It's still not fully there. So I think that's a little crazy. So how do you feel about Two Harbors? They haven't risen much on interest rates yet, but they seem to be stable for 2 years. What's Cody here? Cody Roundtree. I don't even know what that is, man. It's hard to speculate on this stuff if I don't even know what it is. BXMT. Oh, it's a mortgage. Okay, all right. Let me see here. BXMT, Investor Relations. So it depends what kind of mortgages they hold in terms of what I'm most interested in. And typically, if you hop on over to an annual report for the company, you'll typically see some data. So let's take a Blackstone Mortgage Trust. Oh, Blackstone Mortgage Trust. Is this just an ETF or do they actually hold mortgages? Yeah, no, here it is. Diversified loan portfolio based on institutional quality real estate. See, this is the opposite of what I would want exposure to. I mean, I'm okay with some of the multifamily, but multifamily is only 26%. I don't want retail. I don't want hospitality right now. I don't want U.S. office. So I'm pretty uninterested in this. I want this pie to be basically 100% residential 30-year fixed rate mortgage. That's what I want. So now that for me, it's a no. Does that mean it is for you? I don't know. That's all totally on you. So somebody here donated $1.99. Ben Ireland. How are you, boy? Check out USD yen spike. All right. JPY to USD. Oh, yeah, interesting. Kind of back to those carry trade levels. I mean, that's not a surprise. All the central bank did in Japan is kind of talk it down. But, I mean, that's not going to last because we are going to get rate cuts here, and they are going to get rate increases over there. So, that's not good. So Michael is looking for someone to talk Tesla. Oh. We just talked a bunch of Tesla yesterday. SMCI dumping again. Any news out there? Okay. SMCI delayed report. Oh, well, probably because now they have to deal with all these allegations. Let's see what they're doing. Nice. Look at that tank. All right, let's see. Super microcomputer. Ah, 10K delay. Supermicro delays filing to review controls over reporting. Time is needed for management to complete its assessment. RIP. Super microcomputer earnings date. Let's see what it was. Well, it says November 6th, so they're going to delay it even further. Let me see. Super micro investor relations. Yeah. That's just not good in the face of the Hindenburg stuff. All right, let's see here. News. I need SEC filings. 8K file today. All right. Oh, here it is. Okay, issued a press release announcing it expects to file a notification of late filing on August 30th with respect to its annual report ending June 30th. Okay. I mean, they didn't really say why or when. They just said they're going to file a late filing. Oh, here we go. Additional time. Okay, here we go. Late filing. Unable to file its annual report within the prescribed time without reasonable expense or effort. Or expense, right? Yeah, expense or effort. Additional time is needed to complete its assessment of the design and operating effectiveness of its internal controls over financial reporting. Okay. That's it? That's it. Yeah. All right. Don't really provide much insight there. They don't say, I mean, we just need more time. All right. Thoughts on a country with 65% youth unemployment? I don't know. I guess it depends how young you're talking. And you know, how that compares to other countries. I think Two Harbors is what you like, more residential. Also, the hospital REIT space is interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about hospitals, honestly. It's just feel like I'd need to have some competitive advantage and knowledge around, you know, medical buildings and expectations for like hospital growth and expansion. So, what up, Jack? Oh, wow. Look. Look, it's Mr. Jack. Come here, buddy. What's up, man? Who's got a birthday coming up? Tell everyone. What day's your birthday?
Saturday.
Saturday? Oh, man. You gonna be double digits yet?
No,
No?
I don't want to be.
You don't want to be double digits? What are you gonna be? 9? Got a whole other year before you have to worry about double digits. You know, when I turned 10, I got straight A's on my report card, and I got a GameCube.
What's a game?
Yeah, exactly. What's a GameCube? It's kind of like a Nintendo Switch, but like cooler. Look at the GameCube controller. Who remembers the GameCube controller? Look at that. That was it right there. How cool is that? I play Super Smash Brothers with that. That was fun. And then a GameCube itself was this little cube. Look how cool this is. I had a little travel backpack for it too. Not that we actually traveled. Well, I had to travel between mom and dad's house because my parents split up. But anyway, they had these little CDs too. Check this out. They, compare. There we go. Compared to a normal CD, you would play the game with these little discs as opposed to these, which were the normal size CDs. Do you remember what these are? They're not records. That's what he told me the last time. He's like, "Oh, those are the things you put on like a record player." I'm like, no, not that old. Look, Luigi's Mansion. I'll play the original Luigi's Mansion right now. Anyway, all right. So, where were we? All right. Let's see what's going on over here. So somebody says, "What are discs?" Well, I mean, CD stands for compact disc. So unless they changed what it stands for, you know, unless there was like some like DEI redefinition of what CD stands for now. Compact diversity.
I know what CD.
Oh yeah? Alright. Bye, Jack. Cody? Yeah, no, man, I ain't your financial advisor, bro. Where did my CNBCs go? It just turned off. I don't even know what 2 is. How am I supposed to tell you anything about 2? I don't even know anything about it. Two Harbors. Oh, it's a REIT. Company focuses on investing in and managing residential mortgage-backed securities. If it's all residential, that's a lot better. The trust primarily invests in agency residential mortgage-backed securities with fixed or adjustable interest rates that have been backed by the government. It's pretty good. I like that. Why is this crap not working? Dude, the thing has a 13% dividend yield? That's crazy. That's like, usually you only get dividend yields like that when you're knocking on the door of BK or something. Oh, that's weird. Two Harbors. Let's look at a 10Q or something here. See the financials. Financials. Doesn't Chewy report after the bell? I don't think they report now. Oh, no, they do. They did. Oh, okay. Chewy. They beat on adjusted EPS, match sales. Margin beat. Net sales guiding slightly lower, so doesn't seem like it was a big mover in any direction in terms of the actual numbers there. But yeah, let's look at this. This is 2 here. Available for sale securities. So you've got $8 billion of securities. Oh, this is big. Wow, this is a big old REIT. Mortgage servicing rights, that's fine. But they don't generate mortgage servicing rights, so they have to buy them. That's unfortunate because those could go down in value as rates come up, and then you're not replacing that with refinancing. The lenders would receive that benefit. Repo agreements. Okay, this is interesting. So they've agreed to rebuy. Okay, this gets a little more arcane. Why do they have repurchases? What are they repurchasing? It'd be nice if they gave some detail on this. Oh, they do. The company has one repurchase facility that is secured by VFN. Who the heck is that? Variable interest. This gets complicated. Variable interest entities. The company entered into transactions with subsidiary trust entities. One company subsidiary trust, MSR issuer trust, has formed the purpose. Oh my gosh. To VFN. Qualified institutional buyers and a variable funding note. Variable funding note. Okay, the company has one repurchase facility that is secured by the variable funding note. Bro, I don't understand this crap. I don't even really know what they just said. Sounds crazy. Whatever. I'm not going to be able to figure it out within the next few minutes. Ask GPT. There you go. Ask the bot. What do you need me for? A robot. So, I find that interesting, though. That's their balance sheet. Interesting. That liability for whatever. I mean, but then you'd have the asset if you bought it. But you need the cash to be able to rebuy it. And they don't have the cash to rebuy it. So how are you going to rebuy it? You don't have the cash. I don't really understand. And like all of your, yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one to me. I don't really understand that. And then net interest expense, that's fine. Interest income, and that's basically where they make money. Net servicing income. So expenses, comp and benefits, total expenses $38 million. Net income attributable to stockholders. Net income's at $44 million, which gives you what per share? 43 cents. Yeah? I mean, yeah, the thing's trading for like $11, right? But there's something about, and that's in a quarter. And then obviously they pay out a dividend because they're a REIT, so they have to pay out like, what is it, 90% or whatever. I don't know. That's interesting to me. I gotta press a button over here really quickly. But I don't know what all that variable crap is. If I don't understand it, I don't like it.
Millions of small businesses
Oh, okay, now it works.
And each one is unique, but there is something you all have.
I just had to get up.
Tough, made to take it all on.
That's dumb.
What Spectrum Business is made to work, made to help you.
Ay, ay, ay. All right. Oh. Jacka is now saying, I just paid €2 for you not to read my question. Nice. You know what? Now I'm purposefully not going to read your question. I was literally answering somebody else's question. And I was going down the order of them. So you got to wait your turn. And now you think you can buy me for €2 and be a douchebag about it. Now I'm absolutely not going to answer your question.
Of its internal controls over financial reporting. That's as of the end of June of 2024. They haven't made updates to its results for the fiscal year and quarter, and therefore they are delaying their 10K filing for the fiscal year.
Yeah, so look, I think that if you go over Nate Hindenburg's, the incredible incredible work that he's done. And I want to immediately contrast that, because they've been on twice, with the JP Morgan defense of it. All right. You come up with something that says maybe there is something new. JP Morgan says there's nothing new. But why would they delay the 10K if it weren't something?
Oh my gosh, Nordstrom just skyrocketed at the open. I don't know what happened there, but it literally went from flat. I don't know why I was even on it, but I just watched this go like straight up. It's up like 9% right now. And Super Micro keeps going down at the open. And then you've got Abercrombie. So this is down 12% along with Super Micro. Now Nordstrom's coming down a little bit. Lost 60K over here. On Bitcoin. TLT is basically flat. Tesla's up 0.5% right now. Trying to run actually a little bit. See if it can hold a push here. And then you've got the Qs are up 4 basis points. This is a big line for it, by the way. Mark this if you haven't marked it yet. 476.26. Big deal right there. Nvidia dropping. You've got, what else here? What else moving? IWM down 33 bips. Enphase 69 to the upside. Let's see. What's a big old mover over here? Change. So yeah, Super Micro now down 13%. Wow. Space Mobile's down 4%. Donald Trump's SPAC's almost under $20. Robinhood's almost under $20. Flip to the upside, you got Nordstrom holding on to 4, Elf, Chipotle, Tesla at 1% now. And Enphase 61 bips. Apple up 40. Okay. Here's Tesla for you. And Qs are still flat. So let's see what happens directionally here. All right, let's listen in here, and we will try the Doomburgers. Doomburger.
Of a late filing of their annual report, unable as a result of meeting the prescribed time without unreasonable effort or expense. Need the time as well, they say, to complete their assessment of the design and operating effectiveness of its internal controls over financial
And that's really,
reporting.
the Hindenburg's real analysis is that they don't have good internal controls and that they have a history of not having good internal controls. I think we need to hear from Charles Lamb. We need to hear from Supermicro before we just decide, you know what, this thing's just a colossal whatever. I don't want to even use the terms. But I would point out, David, it's going to be reflecting negative on NVIDIA, and that's a big mistake. It should not reflect negative on NVIDIA, for instance.
Right. Let's move on to retail, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Was that bad? I mean, I did my best on that.
No, you did very well.
Okay.
Would you like me to grade you in real time? Is that what you mean?
No, I played that. I did that with the LSAT.
With the who?
LSAT.
Oh, with the LSAT.
I got a perfect on that.
Everybody, I don't know if you heard that because he mumbles. He got a perfect score on the LSAT.
Well,
we're so proud of you.
That was because I took Kaplan, and they had.
Was that an oral exam? Did they actually have written paper
No, but
back
I finished
then?
it in an hour.
In the
said,
in the 1890s?
Never mind. I'm bragging about something that happened 40 years ago.
It never ends.
Ridiculous.
The bragging never ends. All right.
I was living in my car, and I was living in my car, and I got a perfect score. Come on, man.
Come on, man. All right. You want to talk about Kohl's or Nordstrom?
I want to talk about all of them.
I want to talk about Nordstrom. So Nordstrom at 3% right now. Q's slightly positive. Supermicro keeps going, down about 14 now. This is now lower than where it was October 5th. So the bleed out is real. I mean, zoom out on the day chart here for a moment. Yeah, look at that. Next stop is 430 from a lines POV. Although right now it looks like it might be trying to hit a bottom. Let's see if it can hold a bounce there. And then Tesla. Wow. Tesla was just up 1% and just U-turn negative. Now it's flat. Weird. That just came out of nowhere. Then you've got Q's a do's now down 7-8 bips, 9 bips. Nvidia is dropping a bit. Even Apple's trying to drop a little bit. Let's see what happens there. I don't know what's going on over at Tesla, but let's go back in over here.
Is about Sephora. And Sephora sales increased approximately 45% in Q2, including comparable sales up low teens. What a genius to bring in Sephora. I believe Adrian Shapiro is on the board of that.
They cut underlying sales, underlying margins, but they raised their fiscal year EPS guidance.
Yeah, but I think, remember, Ulta's going to
excluding
report...
the potential impact from credit card late fee regulatory changes.
I know, that distorted the earnings.
Okay.
Now,
customers did exhibit more discretion in their spending, they said, during the second quarter, which pressured sales even as customers transacted more frequently.
No, look, it's not a great story, but I'm talking about I am moving away within the store. You know, Kohl's now is branded Kohl's Sephora.
Yes.
And people keep cutting numbers. Ulta, which reports tomorrow. Now that I've read KISS, as we call it, Kohl's, I believe that the problem is Sephora. That Sephora is taking big share from Ulta. So let's be aware of that.
Okay. PVH, you want to do that one too?
No, PVH is just a straight out kind of odd look. Tommy Hilfiger did really good, and Calvin Klein did really good, but we don't think it's going to be as good going forward. It was very odd. Because there was
solid downtrend here, just continuing. Looks like Q's now down 13 basis points. The one that's not really trending down that much is really NVIDIA. That one just kind of keeps holding on, and Apple. NVIDIA and Apple are really trying to hold on here. Apple does have the Apple event coming up on the 9th, so there could be some enthusiasm. But usually these events are buy the rumor, sell the news. So, you know, that's going to be something to watch. And, yeah, NVIDIA bobbing around here. Obviously, we'll cover NVIDIA earnings along with many other earnings that we're going to be getting later. We're looking at, let's see here. We've got NVIDIA, Salesforce, HP, CrowdStrike, Okta, Chewy, and Affirm. And I wonder how Chewy is behaving. Chewy's up like 7%. So not bad. Line readings. Yeah. Okay. So, and then IWN, so Nordstrom holding on to 3%. Wow, look at Supermicro. I was just talking about how it's trying to go to the 430 line. Honestly, I didn't think that it would actually start going to the 430 line, because that'd be another $30 of loss. And you'd really have to go from like negative 13% to like negative 24%. But it might happen. And Tesla is now down 80 basis points. The Qs just broke 476. That's crazy. Trey Carter is asking, are NVIDIA earnings going to determine the market over the next 90 days? I mean, honestly, I think NVIDIA earnings will be broadly fine. Like, the problem is what they guide, right? If there's even a sniff of a slowdown or a bigger impact than people want to hear from Blackwell delays, people are going to lose their minds. And, yeah, the market could broadly sell off. So it is scary. But I guess we'll see. We shall see. By the way, I've noticed puts are pretty expensive right now. Just sort of like looking around just to see what the options market's doing. And you're paying a lot right now on puts. So I think a lot of people are just hedging going into NVIDIA, which sort of makes it expensive to do anything. I mean, there are other options as well. Like, I think we're talking about this with course members, that if you really have a tank, there's a possibility you'll see yields fall rapidly, which could be beneficial to, like, yield plays. Mostly because, if you look back to August 5th, that's what happened then. So that's historically what happened. Does not necessarily mean that'll happen again. I mean, we all know the phrase, past performance doesn't equal future results. But, yeah. Still about four and a bit basis points inverted. So we haven't seen any kind of widening there on the inversion. And then Chewy's now up 9%, almost down 20% on Supermicro. AI threatens call center jobs. Two Sigma's feuding founders step down. Nvidia earnings will test S&P 500's recovery. Supermicro delays. Saw that. Fed embraces gradualism, a familiar policy for uncertain times. Yeah, unfortunately, that is what concerns me. A gradual Fed makes me most nervous because you get this, Fed that basically says, hey, we don't mind going super slowly even if it causes a recession. And I don't like the potential of that. So, September interest rate cut, all but certain. Attention is turning to the pace of reductions. Handful of policymakers refer to the pace of gradual or methodical. Inflation hasn't yet cooled. Chair Powell tilts dovish. Outsized Fed cuts tend to accompany a recession. Yep. Let's see. Significant question now in terms of the market, labor market weakening, yes. How far, how fast? Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's go over here.
Earlier, didn't quite outdo Tesla, if you remember, which delivered 443,956 units during the same period. But they're selling them all over the world.
Yes, they are. Now, Dave, there is a backstory here.
Not here.
Have you seen?
Not here. Sorry.
Here.
All over the world, but not here.
Following the backstory of Germany doing a huge amount of business with China in return, taking their cars. I think Germany is a country that is of tremendous significance for not just what they're doing in terms of cutting how much money they want to give to Ukraine, but Germany's really China, great trading partner. And if China's really that rogue and being that friendly with Russia, maybe Germany's just getting a little too neutral.
I don't know what Germany's doing. Closed all their nuclear plants, like
They
using
closed the
coal
nuclear
now.
Meanwhile,
what in the world are they
we're thinking
thinking?
about opening a nuclear plant. Off of in the Midwest, in Detroit, right in the
Michigan,
area.
yes,
Michigan.
yes.
By the way,
yes,
there is talk of 3 Mile Island
recommissioning, and there is some talk
Of
about
3 Mile
one
Island.
of the reactors at
Right.
3 Mile Island, not the one that almost melted down.
We need to speak to Patty Poppy.
The volatility right now on Supermicro is so insane. You should look at the options pricing. It's like $25 for a call at the money or $25 for a put at the money. And then if you compare it to Tesla, you're at like $4. Now I realize it's like Tesla stock is like worth half as much on a per stock basis, but still, that's like $8 compared to $25. It's crazy vol right now. And yields actually kind of ticking up a little bit. Somewhat of a surprise. You're up about 1 basis point on the 10 and the 2 year. All right, let's try the Doomers. Let's see what the Doomers have today. You think China unwinding assets will kill TLC? No, because the Fed wants to drive yields down. And that'll include market yields. So, the Fed will manage driving yields down. Which, again, like I said, would include market yields. So, but yeah, that certainly would be a headwind. We touched on that yesterday. Anyway, okay. So, Supermicro stabilizing a little bit. The options pricing is insane. Abercrombie stabilizing it down 15%. Still under 60K here on BTC. Redfin's down 4. That's a good chunk there. Yeah, I saw Redfin run like crazy, and we did a few course member live streams on this, and I'm like, I don't want to chase this sucker because it's done some crazy running. We did our first analysis on it recently over in this range over here, and yeah, it's done pretty well here just recently. Tesla, on the other hand, bleeding out a little still, and so are the Qs. Still rotating down on the Qs here. Look at that. Lost that line. You went back to test it. In the last 2 minutes, you went back to test it and got rejected. And NVIDIA's barcoding, too. Yoicks. All right. Well, the Doomers are still on commercial, which is incredibly boring. Let's try over here then.
Aisle on the back. They have to become really just a healthcare store. They have to get the other stuff out. But second, David, when you talk to Amazon, Amazon wants to do same day batched.
Yep.
So let's say you put in an order and you want Colgate. You want a toothpaste. Colgate's quarter made me think of that was really good. And then at the same time, what you want is Puss in Boots, I don't know, dog food, whatever, cat food. So what happens is they can batch those orders, send it to you. You order in the morning. It's going to be at your home when you get back. So why would you stop at Walgreens? And that is the existential.
It's
Wow, the
existential,
today.
man.
That is the
Look at that.
existential issue.
That is just
Yeah, that's a
one-way
crisis
ticket.
in black and red. Yeah, I don't know. Look, Tim Wentworth is really from the PBM, the pharmacy benefit side.
Yes.
So I think he's going to work out something there.
Yes.
But at the same time, the clock is ticking for anyone that Amazon. I mean, is it Borders? Is it Borders? That is the question.
I know.
And I just.
Is it Borders? Oh, the loser compared to Barnes & Noble. Although Barnes & Noble's got hit too.
Really a great help to authors.
Yeah,
And that matters.
Yeah.
Authors need help.
I know, but nobody reads other than you and me, maybe.
What do you
many.
read?
I'm reading 3 different things right now.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm having some trouble getting through a lot of things.
I just finished the last.
I'm noticing I'm just sort of like watching option pricing right now. It is so bearish. And it's extremely expensive right now. I mean, like unusually expensive to have shorts today. I don't have any. I do have a little bit of exposure to a short Bitcoin position, but that's the only thing I have short. And I mean, honestly, being a little short Bitcoin in the last 24 hours is kind of a little bit of a blessing. Yeah, the pricing's just wild. I think it's just it must be the volatility is just moving up going into these NVIDIA earnings. I mean, that makes sense. Everybody's freaking out for NVIDIA. Again, I think the earnings will be fine. It's just any little sniff of pain or delays or slowdown freak people out. NVIDIA's volatility has actually been falling the last 5 days. That's interesting. Yeah. Weird. All right. So Qs are down now about 35 bips. I wonder how IWM's doing in the face of the Qs selling down. Russell 2000 small caps down 23 basis points on the small caps. Supermicro still down 18. Bitcoin still can't get under over 60 here. What else? Enphase up a couple percent. But yields flat. Yeah, not much yield movement at all. And then gold down about 0.5%, with oil down about 1.12%. Somebody says, what positive catalyst are market waiting for? Jobs. Next week, jobs data on Friday. Well, that'll be pretty important. You know, I mean, the market's like really nervous about the potential for having to price in a recession. And I think it'll react really quickly to bad data on jobs. But maybe the data will be really good, you know. But then even if it's really good, people are just going to look at it and go, "Are we being lied to again?" So, you know, it's a little tough. Tough to like you want to be data dependent, but if the data's a lie, then how are you going to be data dependent?
Dependent. Little PP. Short PP.
Pricing power. Oh well. All right, what do we got over here?
To reorganize the C-suite, what do you think happens here?
Well, I will tell you there are some related party issues that's been put out on the risk profile.
Can somebody get him like actual audio?
They do need to clean some of that up in terms of the related party issues, but it's still unclear if we're going to see a restatement or changes. It just might be operational in nature. If that's going to be the case, they probably have to add in some financial controls, and that's just more money on the G&A line.
All right, Woo Jin Ho of Bloomberg Intelligence, really appreciate you stopping by, of course, to break down the latest on Supermicro Computer shares absolutely in free fall right now, down about 19%. But let's check in on some other movers today after earnings, specifically when it comes to your retailers. An interesting dynamic, of course, where you have some of these names beating on expectations, but it's just not enough for shareholders. That is absolutely clear when you take a look at Abercrombie. Shares currently down 13%, but up by more than 200% over the last year. You take a look at Foot Locker as well, down 15%. And then we do have some good news, thankfully. You take a look at Kohl's and Nordstrom managing to escape that crucible. Shares up between 4 and 5% for both of those names, Shanali.
And coming up, Katie, we're going to talk about one of the hottest stories of today. Two Sigma's feuding founders stepped down after many months of infighting. New CEOs named. More on that next in today's Wall Street Beat. This is Bloomberg.
All right, so Nick T is referring to a Goldman analysis that basically argues the adjustment to the labor report should have only been about 300,000 jobs rather than 800,000. And they argue that's because people are underreporting how many illegal immigrants are actually working for them. So that because they get counted in households through the census, often, you have a wider pool, but then it seems like you have fewer people actually working. Who knows? That's what I say. Who knows? They just need to get the data right, please. Get it right, would you?
The filing of its 10K, internal controls. People don't like to
We
read
need
that.
to hear from the
You
company.
don't like to read that.
Let's hear from the company before we draw conclusions.
Well, what more are we going to hear? They put a filing out.
You're supposed to say that as a journalist.
All right, we got Stop Trading with Jim coming up.
Everyone's going on commercial. How boring. That is boring. All right. What do we got? Q's trying to bounce, creating a little bit of a floor there on the Q's dues, and let's see what else we have. Q's doozies. You've got obviously a pretty bearish trend on the day. Oh whoa! Look at that. So close to my 430 line. It actually went down to 432 there for a minute. That's wild. Yikes. A lot of red. A lot of money going down. Down into the toilet. Oh no. Tesla down about 90 bips. Let's see, what else? Nvidia. Yeah, look at that. Just trying to find a floor there. Apple. Wow, Apple's about to turn negative. The Qs keep going, too. Well, yeah, I mean, if Apple's going to go negative, I feel like that was the only thing trying to prop it up. That's crazy. IWM down 19 bips now, 2% on Enphase. Is anything actually up today? Yeah, Chewy's up 9%, Nordstrom's up 4%, Short Bitcoin's up 4%, BITI. And then to the downside, Supermicro, Abercrombie, Space Mobile. Space Mobile, 7%. Wow. All right. Okay. Oh, yeah. Qs keep legging down. All right. Fine then. So, somebody says stupid Enphase. What's up with Enphase? Somebody else says about Amazon. Big support level for Salesforce at 113. It just depends. We just, I thought it was very interesting. Oh, yeah, Amazon down too. This morning, this talk about Klarna basically killing all their licenses for Workday and Salesforce. I thought was really interesting. If people can use AI and actually replace a crap load of SaaS subscriptions they have, AI is actually going to end up destroying SaaS rather than helping SaaS. You know, as there's like a huge industry consolidation towards, you know, just like one product or an in-house product or whatever. Wild. All right, what are they yapping about over here?
Someone they put in front of an audience, certainly. Scott Hoffman, the general counsel of Lazard for decades.
Yes.
A lawyer being named a co-CEO. What does this say about their direction moving forward?
Yes, it's interesting. One person internal as a veteran, one person external to the firm, also a veteran, 30 years at Lazard. So, you know, it suggests perhaps they're looking for a little bit of
Supermicro now at 20.5 to the downside. Wow.
internal tenure and talents, and that they have two people sharing the role similar to the two CEOs that were previously there.
And it's interesting, you take a look at Two Sigma's absolute return enhanced fund gaining 10.6% in the first half of the year. The flagship fund returned 6.1%. So not too bad. Maybe not exactly beating the S&P 500, but how much of a distraction had this feud become? How much was it actually impacting the day-to-day over at Two Sigma?
So that's what's really interesting, is that the performance is not bad, and it hasn't really impacted redemptions. So investors may not be thrilled with the fact that the two CEOs don't get along, but it hasn't impacted them such to the point where they would ask for their cash back. And that may be because a firm like this versus a single strategy fundamental equities shop, this type of firm with a quant pioneer is almost, it can run kind of on its own. It's very quantitative. It doesn't rely so much necessarily on like one PM at the very, very top.
That's pretty funny. So just let the computers do the work while the founders fight. Hema, great reporting as always. Our thanks to Bloomberg's hedge fund reporter, Hema Parmar. Meanwhile, let's get to the trading diary. What you need to be watching this week. And surprise, today we get NVIDIA earnings after the bell. We'll also hear from Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic.
Boring. Ooh, Bostic speaks today. What's he gonna say?
We're going to ask him about Klarna and everything else, and artificial intelligence and what it means for Einstein, what it means for having the data. And remember, Dreamforce is coming up. Doesn't pay to jam the stock down to 230 if you think you're going to do that. David, I'm out of breath.
Good. Take a breath.
Yeah,
Maybe even take a couple.
I'm going to send you more stuff on something we talked about during the break.
Send me a lot more stuff, please. Okay. All right, more on what to expect from NVIDIA's earnings. Of course, if you haven't heard, for 20 years.
Don't each stuff on its own bottom. This is not a reflection. SMCI, no. Don't draw any conclusions, okay? Phew.
Well, Chewy's now up 10%. Not only is Chewy up 10%, but IWN is actually just went positive. So pretty impressive there. Gotta give him some credit here. A little bit of positivity. Now, what else do we have? We have, let's see here. What about? Let's see, Amazon. No, Amazon keeps legging down. Q's trying to floor out. Wow, Supermicro just went straight down to my line. Boy, what if it breaks the line? It's gonna be insane. Insanity. It's trying to actually right now. Bitcoin actually just rotated down a bit too. Not great. Yeah, now you're breaking the line here at 429 now. Bitcoin 59.5. Oof. Redfin's down 4. Tesla's barely down right now, actually. It's only down about 19 basis points. Qs are really trying to figure life out. Okay. Let's see if is Varn's on today. Let's see. Yeah, it should be.
Call for your free Fisher Retire Right Kit.
So exhausting. Ads. Always ads. Every time you go look at some of these places. Oh well. IWM's not moving at all though. BTC. Barely a green little candle there. Yeah, TLT's still down 8 basis points here. All right. What else? What else, my lord? I don't know what else. So what else have we, my friends? So, at least 9 killed as Israel begins major operation in West Bank. Yoicks. Oh, Q's can't catch a break. Look at that. It's like you're just popping up and gave up right away. Nvidia earnings now rival U.S. jobs report for impact. Are you serious? Wow, that's crazy. Nvidia earnings have become as important for U.S. markets as key economic data, according to analysts. Nvidia has become one of the most important events on the macro calendar. Wow. One asset manager said he could not recall a set of corporate earnings that had been more keenly awaited. It's hard to imagine the share price not reacting strongly later this evening. Okay. I guess we'll see. Oh, there go the Qs legging down again. And so is Bitcoin, almost at 59K. Let's go back here.
The price of oil, mid $70 a barrel, 74.62. And Bitcoin, that's coming down a bit. We're back to 59,235. That's the markets. Now this. We're watching something unique in American politics, the rapid reinvention of a presidential candidate. The policies Kamala Harris supported just 5 weeks ago are gone, repudiated. We've never seen anything like this before, and you have to wonder if voters are going to accept it. The latest policy repudiation concerns electric vehicles. This is important stuff. As a senator, Harris sponsored legislation that would ban all gas-powered vehicles by 2040. We had to go all electric. Now, her campaign says, quote, Vice President Harris does not support an electric vehicle mandate. Now, that's an admission that her EV policy is failing, so just repudiate it. And then there is the border and the wall. Harris has said frequently it's Trump's vanity project and won't work. The Biden-Harris team stopped work on it. The materials are rusting in the field, for heaven's sake. Now, she supports spending $650 million to construct new barriers and shore up old ones. Why doesn't she just come right out with it and say, build the wall? I guess that's too obvious a flip-flop. She was for...
A flip-flop. Supermicro's down now to 420, my goodness.
She's a tough-on-crime prosecutor. She is repudiating the failed policies which she's been supporting for nearly 4 years. If she submitted to questioning like any normal candidate, we might find out what she actually believes now. But all we're going to get is a joint interview with Tim Walz on Democrat-friendly CNN. The interview will be conducted by Dana Bash, an old acquaintance of Kamala Harris.
Thursday, they're going to have a 9 p.m. Eastern time release of the interview.
Been repudiated, but we don't know who the new Kamala is. And the Democrats hope they can carry this deception all the way through to the election. Will the real Kamala Harris please stand up? Oh, probably not. The deception is all about winning, no matter what the cost to our country. She is not a normal candidate, and this is not a normal election. Secondara Vani just getting started.
Yes. All right. What else? Here's flip-flops. Flip-flops? A flip-flopper? No. Wow, 415. I find it remarkable how much Supermicro keeps falling here. This is crazy. Now, what else is crazy is I want to see if option pricing has actually even moved, because the vol is just so high. I mean, I know obviously it moved at the open, but I'm going to go to options here. I'll just go to Friday for a moment and go puts. Wow. Oh, the chart data stopped working. I don't know what happened to Webull. It killed chart data on options. But anyway, some of those contracts, I mean, up 5,000%. That's crazy. Implied volatility is over 200% for a day contract. It's insane. That's some kooky dookie numbers. Anyway. Alright. I don't know that I have anything else. That might be the end. IWM's falling again. Cheesecake Factory's down 1%. Amazon down 90 basis points. Qs are trying to figure out a floor. See if they can pull it off. Tesla's only down 39 basis points. Apple started rotating up again. Nvidia's trying to catch up again. What else? Disney, Enphase, somewhat nominal movements here. Bitcoin shorts making money. Whoever's got Bitcoin short. Okie dokie. Yeah, sticking to about 0.5%. It seems like every one of these little attempts at a bottoming or a rally here on the Qs just gets sold off. So definitely nervous. I mean, then again, you have to evaluate, like, who wants to go buy today? Like, who does anybody actually want to be a fund manager or whatever, buy stocks today? Then Nvidia tanks the market, and it like as an option, right? And then you look like an idiot for having bought the day before. So it's like kind of okay if you bought a week ago, but a day before, I don't know. You can always buy it open if the earnings are good. So it's all gonna be in that forecast and commentary, though. Because I think the earnings will be fine. It's all gonna be in that commentary to me. Time to push the button.
Even though I'm a licensed financial advisor, real estate broker, and becoming a stockbroker, this video is neither personalized financial advice nor real estate advice for you. It is not tax, legal, or otherwise personalized advice tailored to you. This video provides generalized perspective, information, and commentary. Any third-party content I show should not be deemed endorsed by me. This video is not and shall never be deemed reasonably sufficient information for the purpose of evaluating a security or investment decision. Any links or promoted products are either paid affiliations or products or services which we may benefit from. I personally operate and actively manage the ETF and hold long positions in various securities, potentially including those mentioned in this video. However, I have no relationship to any issuers other than HouseHack, nor am I presently acting as a market maker.
Don't buy.
Fetch me. Double reamed. Triple reaming spree.
All right, see y'all.